Hey y'all, my name's Rem. You can call me Remy, whatever you want, but this is my channel, Pearls on Jupiter. It's gonna be like a little educational channel. As I'm learning and growing on my spiritual journey, I feel like I should share and help people get a better understanding of the basics, because basics, sometimes you don't want to go and buy a book. Sometimes you can't really find a video that's gonna tell you what you're looking for. Websites, they can be kind of vague and they won't give you the deets and the info, and it's kind of it's not very helpful out there sometimes in the spiritual community. But that is where I am coming in. I'm taking a little step, starting some new horizons, trying something new, and I hope that y'all vibe with it, y'all rock with it. With that being said, I am kind of wanting this first little part of my channel to be kind of related to my growth, so I thought it would be cool and fun and funky and fresh to talk about tarot, because it's I've been doing it for 2 years. I might know some things. I feel like it might be a little bit helpful. People like tarot, but sometimes people don't understand it. And they're like, girl, I don't know what these cards mean. I don't get the purpose. So we should start off with breaking stuff down, getting the definitions out of the way. Get into the meat and bones of your little deck. So, basics. When you first get into tarot, getting your deck can be a bit intimidating. There is heavy tradition around making sure that someone gifts it to you. That's how you have to get your first deck. And honestly, I didn't get my first deck gifted to me. It's not as common practice. Decks are very heavily available. You can go to Barnes and Noble, you can go to Etsy, you can go to a manga store. They're gonna have one there. They're more than likely. That's where I've gotten them from. So, but I have had mine. I got my second one gifted to me. Don't feel too hung up if you see a deck in a store, you're vibing with it, you're locking eyes, and you're yeah, I can I think this is the one for me. Go and grab it. It's calling to you for a reason. So every tarot deck's gonna be a little different depending on what names they use for the different suites, or the artwork is gonna be different. Sometimes I have a deck, Cosmic Slumber. It has 2 little extra cards that have a specific, they're little oracle cards that have a specific meaning outside of the 5 big categories that are typically in your deck. So this is kind of a base. The more traditional ones are definitely gonna have these, but this is gonna be the basis of all tarot. So you're gonna have your major arcana first. Now your major arcana, there's 22 cards, but they don't go 1 through 22, it's 0 through 21. They're the cards that are gonna have big impact in your reading. People can get a little intimidated because it's a lot of big energy. They typically come up in a reading to emphasize the importance around a certain subject, or certain individual, whatever you're reading on, right? For example, the Emperor, his main thing is yourself. Stand up for yourself, set your boundaries. You are your own girl boss. Always, forever. Never forget it, right? That's his vibe. Very simplified energy. But in a reading, it might come up to show clarification about hey, all these cards are showing sadness and whatnot. You need to get in your girl boss bag. You need to put those boundaries up, shorty. That's what the card would you get it, the impact. It's yeah. So moving on, once you get past the major arcana, you are gonna go to the wands. So here she is. I know it's gonna be backwards because I'm filming on my back camera. You saw that, right? Wands are going to represent drive, passion, creativity. It's representative of the fire element. If you're an astrology shorty, you know the elements already more than likely, so just kind of flippity flop apply that. It's same kind of concept. But all of your wands are going to be discussing like a subject that is regarding those things. So like whether it's about impulsivity, which is like a part of drive, but like, you know, your drive's a little out of control, right? Things of that nature, like super fast, super hot, because flames, fire. For example, the Seven of Wands is a card that discusses like, you know, fighting for your beliefs, persevering through it all, because you know why? You want it super bad, but you might need to think about how bad you want it and like how bad you need it in your life. Most of the time though, when she's upright and center, the Seven of Wands is like, hey girlie, you're doing great. Keep pushing for what you want to do. Keep standing up. Next up, we have the Pentacles. Pentacles, if you guessed it, it's about the earth. It's about wealth, materially and emotionally. You're talking about the values. You're talking about the hard foundations. That's what you're getting into, because that's what earth is all about. So the Ten of Pentacles, she's like, hey, I've been seeing you work really, really hard. She's like, Pookie, you have done amazing. Here's all your rewards. Your life is so fulfilling. She's telling you that life is good. She's a great card to get in a reading. I love her. I love her vibe. So we got the major arcana, we got the flames of passion, we got the foundation of the earth. Now we're getting into the mind, because that is what the Swords suite is all about. The Swords is representative of air, and no, that's not like airheadedness, you know, I mean like depending, that's, you know. She's like, hey sister, your mind, you gotta start thinking. You gotta start thinking about stuff in a new way. Sometimes being emotionally driven, like fully, and not like thinking things through, like drowning in them and being overwhelmed by them, all that jazz, yeah, sometimes that's not super slay, bestie. I hate to break it to y'all. And so Swords comes in and she's like, hey sis, what if we used our noggin? What if we used our silly little brain up here and we thought about stuff? So with the Two of Swords right here, her symbolism's kind of cute, kind of slay, right? So we have the moon in the background. I'll zoom in for y'all. I'll let y'all see. She's about like trusting. She's got these two swords in her hand. She's got a decision to make. The moon in the background, she's kind of screaming at her. She's like, hey sister, trust yourself. Trust your emotions. I know we just talked about the mind, but this is like saying, hey, maybe you're too in your mind. Maybe you need to trust that like whatever's going on, it's like you just gotta trust yourself. And that's the choice you have to make. You gotta trust your gut. So now we've closed out everybody and we have our lone little friend, Cups. Cups and water. Great, amazing. The Cups, they're fun, they're fresh, they're slay. She's like, hey sister queen, what if we cherished our emotions like a little bit? What if we cherished them like a tad? And you're like, oh my god, like what if we did value our emotions and value our emotional state, you know? And you're like, oh my god, that's such a great idea. The Cups, that's typically the vibe of most of the suite. Trust in your emotions, vibing with your emotions, not being afraid to be emotional. In this one, the Six of Cups, her vibe is kind of like childhood memories. She's like reminiscing on the past in a good way, not like focusing on the past and like this is what I'm missing. This is like, oh my god, like good things can come from the past. So slay. Like water, the Cups are gonna encourage you to be more emotional, like I said. Have a bit more trust in your intuition and your spirituality, embracing you to feel. Now, I know you guys saw the numbers on the cards and you were like, well, okay, like she's talking about like the Two of Swords, like the two has meaning. Yes, it does. The numbers on the cards for the suites, they have meaning. Think of it like, okay, like you have two different categories. You have your element and then you have your number. All the numbers have like a specific meaning, and then like we know the elements all revolve around a certain thing. So like with the Two of Swords, we'll run her back. Two 2, that's about choices, that's about unity, that's about balance, right? That's the meaning of what it is. And then you have swords. You see the swords, it's your mental, that's your mind, that's your state of thinking. Your mental, you have to make a choice about it. You gotta decide, am I gonna think with my head or think with my heart? Trusting your intuition. You see that? You see? Trusting your intuition. Little moon in the background. She's like, hey, girlfriend, like, I know that you're like really like thinking about it, but like your inner world, me in the background, you just gotta trust. And so that's how you get to the decision about the 2 swords. Amazing. Now, I would love to delve into that deeper. However, if I did, I wouldn't have content to make in the future. So we're gonna dive deeper into the numbers and whatnot, like next episode. And maybe we could even hop into starting the major arcana. And then breaking down those meanings of all those cards. I love spewing my ideas out of my mouth in live timing. Anywho, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You know, if you want to like leave a like, if you want to subscribe, that'd be cool. That'd be slay and whatnot. Okay, and we're just gonna take the top card of this deck, High Priestess. She pops out. This is gonna be the card of the week until the next video. So the vibe of the High Priestess, she is kind of like inner wisdom, trusting your intuition, maybe beginning your spiritual journey, you know? So her advice for the week is gonna be, listen to yourself, listen to your heart, trust yourself, trust your gut. Your values matter. What you trust intuitively, that matters. Make sure you listen to your heart. Don't listen to your head sometimes. Only sometimes. It can be a bit misleading, you know, if you're an anxious little girly. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed the video, and I will chat with y'all later.